The Ottawa Senators have finally fired head coach DJ Smith after not having any success so far this season and having a very good team. In this video, I'll be talking about the real reason as to why he has been fired, as well as some possible very good candidates to follow up in his position come next season. So, before we get into all of that, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get daily news on the NHL, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, sub to the channel so you don't miss out on any breaking news. Like I said, DJ Smith has finally been fired to much enjoyment of the Ottawa Senators fans, not because of the type of person he is, but due to his success as head coach of the Ottawa Senators. I've seen many people say, many reporters, talking about how good of a person he is. You know, he treats everybody the same, everybody with respect, and that's what you want to see as a head coach. So, you know, it sucks for a guy like that. He took it well from reports, and, you know, it sucks, but it had to happen for the Ottawa Senators, and many Senators fans are happy from this, you know. Frank Cervalli kind of started this one off saying head coach DJ Smith had been fired around midday yesterday, and, you know, a lot of positive reaction, as well as a lot of negative reaction came from this, but the real reason is, I'm sure, what many Ottawa Senators, many people around the league know as well. The Senators have had zero success under DJ Smith, and that's the front line. You know, you can see here from his tenure in Ottawa, has not made the playoffs, including this year as well, which, you know, it's a tough situation when you have a team like the Ottawa Senators who are pretty good. They're getting much better over the past few seasons as well, and still have not been able to make any waves in the standings at all. You know, a lot of people had them near to the mid-top of the Atlantic this season with how good the team has gotten. They still need a few additions, but they're pretty close to becoming a playoff team, and, you know, now we know how that's ending up. They're currently 30th in the league, only in front of the San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks, two teams that we did expect to be at the bottom of the standings for this season. But the Ottawa Senators have not yet been where they wanted to be, and that's a lot part to do with DJ Smith. He hasn't been the right coaching situation for the Ottawa Senators. He just hasn't found the groove for this team pretty much over his entire tenure, so it was time to go. And the Senators fans, I'm sure, are very happy about this, but I want to currently talk about a few possibilities of coaching for the Ottawa Senators come next season. You know, it's going to be a big change next season. I think you're going to see a lot of movement, players, staff, and everything combined, but we're going to start it off here with, you know, who could be the next head coach? I have two possibilities in mind right now who I think would be very, very, very good fillers for this team, and I think would suit this team very well. So we're going to start it off here with former Minnesota Wild head coach Dean Evason. You know, Dean Evason coached the AHL as a head coach and assistant in the NHL, and then head coach of the Minnesota Wild. Made the playoffs in just about every season he was a head coach with the team. Obviously, no playoff successes came from Minnesota. Lost in the first round, but that's nothing new for any Minnesota sports fans if you know anything about, you know, the other leagues as well. But Dean Evason has shown that he can coach kind of any type of team. Like, he's coached a very young team in the Minnesota Wild. He's coached some veterans with Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, and everybody along those lines. He's coached a team now that was currently $18 million under the cap. I believe it was around $18 million due to buyouts of Ryan Suter and Zach Parise. And he's had success with those teams, but just not enough for the Minnesota Wild to do anything. So if you give Dean Evason a team where he could, you know, get input in what he wants to work with, who he wants to work with, has coached many different types of players, I think that this would be a very good situation for the Ottawa Senators to be in if they can get a coach who can fire on all fronts, is the best way to say it. You know, he's a very stern coach. We've seen that from the Minnesota Wild. I don't think I've ever seen him smile, to be honest with you. He's always hard on the players, but in a good way. You know, he's going to try to get them to do their best, to play their best, and, you know, he's going to try to avoid these players making certain mistakes, which is a major part in a team like the Ottawa Senators right now, who are kind of stuck in the mud. You know, the players are good, the team is just not firing, and that's common. We've seen that, but Dean Evason would be a very good coach to be able to turn this team around and put them where they want to be. However, he's not my favorite for the coaching position for the Ottawa Senators. Another coach who was recently fired this year, in Craig Berube, who I think would be an excellent coach for the Ottawa Senators if it does come this season as well. We know that in the St. Louis Blues were last place in the NHL standings come the All-Star break, and then won the Cup in 2019. The Ottawa Senators, 30th in the league, They have time to turn it around. That's why they fired DJ Smith. He was on the final year of his deal, and they knew that they had a chance, if now, to turn this team around. They had to fire him now and get rid of him. Get a new coaching staff and try and turn it around as quick as possible. Pull up Craig Berube's coaching stats here. Many years of experience throughout the NHL and the AHL on the Philadelphia Flyers and the St. Louis Blues. You can see 2018-19 there. That was the season they won the championship. However, after that, there wasn't too much success, but he's proved that he was able to turn that team around in 2019 and go and win a cup. You know, to me, that just shows that if the Ottawa Senators want to turn it around now, if they want to try and make the playoffs this season, Craig Berube's the guy. You know, he's a very good coach. A lot of negative response to when he was fired. He got that team a cup. You know, there was obviously on the players as well, but a lot of it is on the coaching staff trying to turn it around from being the worst team in the NHL at the All-Star break and then going to win a cup. Obviously, we had an insane Jordan Binnington, and the team was very good, but this is a big part of it. You know, the coaching staff does a lot more than we recognize just watching the game on TV or in the arena. So, Craig Berube, this is my guy for the Ottawa Senators here. A lot of people were going to be on his name after he got fired, whether it come this season, after this season. You know, he's one of those coaches that won't be gone too long. The same as Dean Evason, but Craig Berube as well, having won that cup with the St. Louis Blues. So, pull up his stats here once again. You know, let's take a look at it. You see the win-loss record. It's been pretty good in every season. You know, he hasn't had a season, apart from last year, it was a bit of a tough one, but for example, 21-22, 49-22 and lost in the second round. That in no means is a good or is a bad team. That's a very, very good team going 49, 22 and 11. That's a near a 50-win team, and you know, that's what the Ottawa Senators need. They need someone who can win and let the players do it themselves. You know, the players haven't had a chance to prove themselves in a playoff opportunity, which I think many of them could. You know, it's a very young team, but it's a mix of some people who know what they're doing. Like, they need a bit of a goalie solidity back in the back end, but that'll all come. You know, there's no rush for the Edmonton Oilers or the Ottawa Senators. They're a very young team. They have a lot of their guys locked up for the term that they want, and if they want to turn it around, now's the opportunity. So there are a few coaching opportunities that will arise for the Ottawa Senators, but I think 1 and 2 you'll see is Dean Evason and Craig Berube. Maybe a few others that are not really on the radar as of the moment, but Craig Berube is my favorite for this position. Like I said, if they want to turn around this season, he's the guy. If they want to go in the offseason, maybe a Dean Evason, you know, trying to turn this team around on the bench, trying to, you know, toughen up the players, I guess you could say. They're both very good coaches. Both have proven they can get wins, especially under tough circumstances. Berube with the last in the NHL at the All-Star break, and Dean Evason being heavily under the cap and having to work with some players that you wouldn't normally want to work with in certain situations. However, they've both made it work, and I think the Ottawa Senators did the right thing getting rid of DJ Smith. We hope him well. You know, obviously, it was a tough situation for him at the head coaching role, but he's a great person, you know, in the interviews and everything. You see him, what people are saying about him right now. He seems like a very good person, you know, so we hope him well. But Dean Evason, Craig Berube, my top two. Craig Berube 1, Dean Evason 2, but, you know, there's obviously a whole bag of tricks that they could pull out and, you know, hire someone out of the blue. We don't really know, but great idea for the Ottawa Senators to hire or fire TJ Smith now. Some changes to the coaching staff were made. I don't think it's going to be permanent. You know, there's an interim coach. Daniel Alfredson is now on the bench as an assistant coach, so we'll see what they can do come, you know, next few weeks, whether they hire a coach soon or in the off-season. We don't really know yet. We haven't heard too much from that, but that's all I got for this video. If you did want to subscribe to the channel, make sure to do so. We post daily, mainly Blackhawks, but also more NHL content as well. We'll have a Blackhawks video tonight for you guys who are looking at this video now, wondering where the Blackhawks news is, so we'll have that one tonight for you, but that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.